Okay, so the question says Alexis is making Verdot. The recipe requires 1/3 cup of flour and 2 3/6 teaspoons of salt. Alexis wants to make the recipe using 1 cup of flour. To maintain this ratio, how much salt is required when 1 cup of flour is used? So remember, guys, the question that we did similar to this on last week. The first thing you do, you need to figure out how to set up your expression in order to solve the problem. So here, the fact that I'm seeing 1 cup of flour, the first thing that should pop in my head is unit rate. Okay, so we know that with unit rate, right? Unit rate, and we're dealing with constant of proportionality. So that's K equals Y over X, where X is equal to 1, right? So what variable do we need to be equal to 1? The cup of flour. So remember, guys, since X is in the denominator when we're finding the unit rate or the constant of proportionality, when I'm writing my expression, I'm going to put my fraction bar and I'm going to put the information that I know about the cups of flour. I know I have 1/3 cup of flour, so I'm going to do that in a different color. So I have 1/3, I'm going to put CP. Okay, so that's going to represent cups of flour. I know that I also have 2 3/6 teaspoons of salt. So I'm going to put that in another color on top. 2 3/6 cups of salt. Okay. So the question is, to maintain the ratio, how much salt is required when 1 cup of flour is used? So we know how much salt is needed when 1/3 cup is used. So in order to figure out how much salt is needed when we have 1 cup, I have to take my 1/3 and divide it by 1/3, because any number divided by itself is 1. But whatever I do to the denominator, I also have to do to the numerator, right? So when I do that, divided by 1/3, I'm going to have the following. I'm going to have my 1, which I want, cup of flour, but now I'm going to have my 2 3/6, 2 3/6 divided by 1/3. Okay, so now I got to simplify this top part. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down here to simplify. So notice here, guys, this first number is a mixed number. So in order to divide, the first thing I would do is convert this into an improper fraction. So 2 3/6, that changed to 6 times 2, which is 12. 12 plus 3, which is 15. So my numerator becomes 15, and I keep my denominator the same, which is 6. So now I'm going to do 15 over 6 divided by 1/3. So remember, anytime you're dividing fractions, you keep the first fraction. So I'm keeping the 15 over 6, and I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm multiplying by 3/1, right? And 15 times 3 gives me 45. And then 6 times 1 gives me 6. But notice that none of the answer choices looks like that, right? So here, I would just change this back into a mixed number. So 6 goes into 45 7 times, and then I'm left with 3/6. So if you notice, the answer that's closest to this is 1/2, because if you do 3 divided by 6, that is also equal to 1/2. So your answer choice would be 7 and 1/2.